Greetings, folks. Today is Sunday, April the 7th, 2019. I'm Tom Lineweaver, and this is my commentary. Listen to me carefully, folks. The First Amendment does not guarantee freedom of speech or any other freedom for that matter. The First Amendment is simply a restriction upon Congress. The first words are Congress shall make no law. That does not mean state legislatures cannot make those laws. That doesn't mean that we, the people, can take a stand one way or another. And I'm going to take a stand right now. I would like to see state legislatures do something about the Next News Network. Why? It's because it's not a news network. They don't report the news. They analyze and share their opinions. No different than what I do, and I'm not calling myself a news reporter. To be honest, they are not a news network, and therefore they are guilty of something called, it slipped my mind. Oh yeah, advertising, false advertising. There we go. Folks, I'm getting old. False advertising. They're guilty of false advertising. They call themselves a news network and they don't report the news. In fact, every time I listen to the man, nothing but garbage comes out of his mouth. You see, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing a hatchet job on him the way he does with Ilhan Omar. This man needs to shut up. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's anything but a news reporter. Well, of course, judging by his commentaries, it's my guess he's pro-Israel. And I think most of you probably know by now, I'm not pro-Israel. Now, why am I not pro-Israel? It is not because of AIPAC. It has very little to do with AIPAC or the pro-Israel lobbies. It has to do with what they have done to Americans. June 8th, 1967, Israel attacked the USS Liberty, killing 34 people. 34 Americans. Killing 34 Americans. You got that? Wounding 174. For you pro-Israel people, is it okay for Israel to kill Americans? Now be careful how you think about that, because you might be next. If anybody hates Americans, it's Israel. They've murdered Rachel Corrie, an American citizen who was over there fighting for peace, wanting peace. That's it. She was a peace activist, and because of that, they murdered her. Now, what did our government do about these things? Nothing. Israel committed an act of war against the United States, and that's what they should have got. The Johnson administration should have pulverized that government. But no. What if Iraq would have done the same thing? Oh, then we would have attacked. But it's Israel. And for some reason, that means it is okay for Israel to kill Americans. They killed 34 on June 8th, 1967. They murdered Rachel Corrie. And I believe they, along with the Bush administration, did 9/11. Yes, I do believe the Bush administration, and in fact, many members of the Bush family, were complicit in 9/11. Now, is that okay? Israel murders American people. Now, Gary French, since you're pro-Israel, you must think it's okay for Israel to murder Americans. Gary French, you must believe that it's okay that Israel attacked the USS Liberty and killed 34 and wounded 174 more. Remember, you're pro-Israel. And Gary French, since you're pro-Israel, you probably think that espionage against the United States on behalf of Israel is okay. And if you don't remember it, look up the name Jonathan Pollard. And do you think it's okay that Israel was complicit in the destruction of the World Trade Center on 9/11? You think it's okay for Israel to murder Americans? You have to. Because you're pro-Israel. And you attack everything and everyone that goes against Israel. But Ilhan Omar is not attacking Israel. She is setting the record straight as far as what our government does. Our government. The government of the United States accept a lot of money from pro-Israel lobbies. It's called quid pro quo, you stupid idiot. Pro-Israel people give money, and Congress makes sure that they pass laws supporting Israel. It's quid pro quo. But you think that's okay. You know, if I would give money, if I would go to a congressman and say, hey, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars if you do this for me, that's a quid pro quo. And it's against the law. Anyway, folks, this is not a news network. It should be renamed Gary French Commentary. That's all he does. He takes a segment of the news and gives his opinion about it. It's not a news network. Or maybe, hey, listen, maybe I can change the name to my commentary to Tom Lineweaver News Network. But that wouldn't be right because I don't report the news, and neither does Gary French. So please, somebody shut the guy up. Anyway, I mean, as long as he's calling himself news, he ought to be shut up. Be honest with yourself, Gary French. You don't report the news. You give your opinion, and a lousy opinion it is. Ilhan Omar is doing the American people a favor by telling the truth about how our government works. Our government only cares about money and power. They don't care about the American people. Anyway, it's time for you to shut your mouth. Or somebody should shut it for you. You should lose your First Amendment. You lose freedom of speech. Why? Because of your false advertising. Now, if you would call this thing Gary French Commentary, go ahead. Because you're not a news network. It's called false advertising, and you should go to jail for the false advertising that you do. Folks, that's my commentary for today. You have yourselves a great rest of the weekend. Bye.